To all you young people out there who are anxious about the future with regards to the impending climate change catastrophe, I just want to tell you to relax. You've been indoctrinated with a big, fat political lie. The world isn't coming to an end, not just yet, and you do have a future. But it's unfortunate that today's media only promote a one-sided, extremely unbalanced and biased view. Hitler once stated, "It's not truth that matters, but victory." He said, make the lie big, make it simple, keep repeating it, and eventually they'll believe it. Is climate change real? You bet it is. The climate has been changing radically for the past 3 million years, with a whole series of ice ages and interglacials which occur every 40,000 to 100,000 years, which is called the Quaternary Ice Age period. Prior to this, most of the time biological life has been on our planet, there have not been polar ice caps, and the world has been much warmer than today. If we go back 50 million years, when mammals were just starting to appear on the planet, the temperature was 16 degrees warmer than what it is today. So claims that life on this planet will disappear from global warming are wrong. In fact, of all the species around today, they make up less than 1% of the creatures that have lived on this planet the last 600 million years. Ice ages have a much bigger impact on life than warming. And the last ice age, which peaked 20,000 years ago, which we call the late glacial maximum, humans couldn't have lived in a lot of places that they do today. For instance, where the city of Chicago is, was covered by 1 kilometre of ice. Where Boston is, was covered by 2 kilometres of ice. And where Montreal is, was covered by 3 kilometres of ice. Even as recently as 12,000 years ago, Britain was covered in glaciers, and our own Southern Alps here in New Zealand, it was just one massive ice sheet. But fortunately for us, and a lot of other species, the planet started naturally warming when CO2 levels were low. And this rate and speed of warming was much faster then than today, with no human influence at all. For 12,000 years, sea levels rose on average 1 metre per century, which is 5 times faster than they've risen in the whole of the 20th century. We know this, but climate alarmists won't tell you this. They will tell you that the sea level rose 0.2 of a metre last century. Well, whip-de-doo. It's a natural process, and it's a lot slower than what it's been doing on average for the last 20,000 years. Our planet is warming, but human influence is minuscule and I believe widely exaggerated. Yes, we should be looking at renewable energy sources. Yes, we are polluting the planet with plastics and all sorts of chemicals and have changed its landscape like no other species in its history. Yet we should slow down and make more efficient use of our limited fossil fuel and other mineral resources. But let's get a balanced view on all this climate change alarmism. I work as an agronomist, and I love CO2 as it's plant food. Plants love it and grow bigger from it. In fact, some glasshouses increase CO2 levels up to 10 times higher to make plants grow bigger and faster for more juicy tomatoes and capsicums. Carbon is essential for life, and if levels get too low, then life on this planet as we know it would disappear. Back in the Jurassic period, 150 million years ago, carbon dioxide levels were 2,000 parts per million, 5 times higher than they are today. And that's why the huge herbivorous dinosaurs were able to thrive on all the plant matter growing in the CO2-rich environment. CO2 greens the planet and increases crop production. So the sky isn't falling, as the Chicken Little alarmists would try and tell you. So relax. Smell the roses, because they're only going to get bigger and more beautiful with all the extra CO2.